All right, my friends, we are back today with another very exciting episode. I am joined by one of my dear friends. Her name is Rochelle Yoshida, and she is the Vice President of Client Experience at Ontraport. We're going to talk about all kinds of crazy things, from herself and her own money experiences to all the behind the scenes stuff that she gets to see in her position at Ontraport, because she has worked with probably thousands upon thousands upon thousands of entrepreneurs just like you all. So she is brilliant. Rochelle, I'm super stoked for this convo. Thanks for being here.
Hey, thanks, Mindy. It's great to be here.
I'm excited. So first and foremost, let's get to know you a little bit. I already know you quite well because we actually met when I went to Ontraport to become a certified consultant, and you were my instructor, which was awesome.
I remember. Definitely remember. How long?
Probably remember that, like,
Dare I ask how many years ago that was?
I have no idea. Maybe 6. No, it must be more than that.
Longer.
I think, I'm not sure. Anyway, we'll have to review our files and see when that was. We have known each other for a long time. Rochelle, you were an amazing, amazing teacher. So that was what first, like, I was like, oh, like, this chick is amazing. Here's what I would love to know about you. How the heck did you get into this work doing technology software with Ontraport?
If you had asked me when I was 6 years old, what do I want to do? It was not work in, technology or software. No, nor were computers around at that time.
Right.
But I have always had a knack and a passion for working with customers, anything kind of client facing. So everything that I've done in my life is kind of culminated to this. And I was just given this opportunity to become part of Ontraport. And at that time, I had never worked in software. I had never worked in tech. And I learned everything from the ground up. And it has been an extremely wonderful ride. I started with Ontraport when we were 12 people big, and now it's over 130. So it's been what I call Mach 3 with my hair on fire to be part of that growth. And I love working with customers. I love being able to figure out what they need, figuring out how we can meet their needs, and what I call create remarkable experiences any way that I can.
Yeah, that's awesome. And you absolutely do that. Like, I get to witness that on many occasions. Let's talk about what Ontraport is for those out there that maybe don't know what it is. I'll just start by saying, when I was looking for a solution to all of the different software things that I needed in my business as a coach, as a course creator, as a newsletter writer and publisher, I had all kinds of janky things attempting to integrate together, and it was a big mess. And oftentimes the things didn't even work, because if I would call the one, it was like, oh, well, it's the other guy's problem. And then I'd call the other guy and they'd be like, no, it's that guy's problem. So I had all these different softwares. I was paying a ton of money for like 15,000 different things. And then I came across Ontraport and I was like, this solves all of my things because I can do everything under one roof. I would love for you to give a little bit, probably better, explanation about what Ontraport is.
Ontraport is what I call an all-in-one system. And it's actually easier to explain in terms of examples. So just like you, Mindy, a lot of our customers come to us with the same challenge that you had, right? When businesses first start out, you think, okay, I need a website. So you get your website, you get your web host, you buy your domain name. And then the next thing they go is, well, I need to capture leads. So they find some system that is able to put a form on their site, capture the lead. And then they go, well, I kind of need to follow up, right? I need to send that email that says thank you and send newsletters afterwards. So you need some system to do that. Then, oh, well, I got into this business to sell a product, for example. And then you need some shopping cart to be able to sell the thing. And then a lot of coaches and consultants, for example, want to do a membership site, right? They want to have the ability to do a one-to-many type experience, like you have with Lucra, and be able to have that content online, but it's gated behind a membership community. And then maybe you want, oh, what's the next thing you want? Well, maybe I want a forum. So you kludge on another thing. So every day I get to see businesses come in with the exact same problem that you had, which is they're overwhelmed by that tech and software, because no one that I really know of, except maybe our weird engineers, right, got into what they did because they were like, I want to do tech, I want to do software.
No, none of us did.
Right. And it's freaking hard, right? Because there are 31 gazillion choices out there for software. And then, of course, there's always that shiny new thing that someone says, oh, but this thing is the best thing because it made me X amount of dollars, or it was super slick, it did this thing. So Ontraport, to long-winded answer, is an all-in-one system that allows you to start and systemize and scale your business over time. Everything from the ability to house your contacts, or what I call a CRM, to be able to send emails to those people, the ability to track where they are in what I call your customer lifecycle, and the ability to do things like membership sites, set up referral programs, and a whole smattering of other things. Whenever someone asks me, what is Ontraport? I kind of cringe a little bit, because it is a lot of different
So many
things.
things.
Because each customer and each business has different needs. And most of the time we serve whatever their needs are. But really, a software that allows you to get your business online and continue running with us throughout that time, because every business needs the tools that we have, right? And you can either kludge them together, as you had done.
Which doesn't work that well.
Single point solutions are what we call them, and you glue them together, and then you rip out that system because that thing no longer works the way that you need it to as your business scales. And so you research, you go find a new one, you rip out the old one, you rebuild everything, you lose all the data history, you waste a lot of time. So
And money.
that is the story that I get to hear over and over. And
It's
so when
totally
you start,
true.
yeah, like when you start, right, with a system that can grow with you, to me, that's a smarter choice. But that's also partly because I work for Ontraport, and partly because I hear the pain and the challenges that customers go through, right? That come to us for that very reason.
Yeah, and you're right on. I can give a real-time example because one of my clients is early in her coaching career, and some of the things that we were working on is setting up her website, getting her CRM set up, getting her, opt-in, everything that she needs online. And initially, we were like, okay, how can we do this kind of on the cheap, right? Because when you're early stage in your business, you don't want to be spending a ton of money that maybe you don't have, or maybe you don't need all the things at first. So we're like, okay, let's do like WordPress to this, to this, to this. And there was just all this junk. And I was like, hold on, let's just look at the basic level of Ontraport, see what that gives us. And now literally just a few minutes ago today, we just canceled all that other crap and she's just fully there now, which is so simple and so easy because, again, it's all under one roof, which just makes everything work together and convenient. I'd also say that Ontraport's been awesome at the growth that you all have had, because it's not even close to the same system or the same software that I started with however many years ago that was. You guys have really listened to the industry and said, what do you all need? Oh, okay, you need this. Cool. Let's figure out how to put that in. You need this. Cool. Let's figure out how to put that in. One of the things that I would love to know from you, because you work very heavily with support, the support team at Ontraport, and you've seen all the challenges, all the things. You've done so many like new client interviews and questionnaires and all of that. What are some of like the big challenges that people are having today, right now?
I think today, one challenge with business owners is just too many freaking flavors. right? There
Too many
are
options.
so many, when you walk into the ice cream shop and there are 50 different flavors, it's hard to choose. When it comes to enterprise systems, you've got, just kind of a select few, right? You've got the Salesforce, you've got the
Salesforce.
HubSpot, or whatever it
Yeah.
might be, right? But when it comes to the small business owner, there are so many choices. And that to me is just die by choice overwhelm. So that's the first thing I see. The second is um, tech in general, right? It has gotten, it's tough, right? Buy a domain name, and then there's all these weird records and things, and so I think that's become difficult.
Do you not think
And
that that's though easier now? Because I think it's way easier today than like when I was learning all this stuff. I literally had to learn like the code and the all the things to know how to do it. These days, I feel like there's so many no code or low code options.
yeah, I do think that has gone easier, right? So you no longer need to hire someone to make your MySpace page, for example.
Right. You can figure it out.
But yeah, but like Ontraport offers a page builder, right? So if you want to just drag and drop your elements onto a page, that's way easier now.
100%.
Um, my view of WordPress is not a common one. I'm not a huge fan of WordPress. I think it has gotten kludgy. I think there are too many plugins that don't play nicely with each other, and I think that's gotten pretty tough, right? So I'd rather at this point, right now, we have the ability to have a membership site or a website right with Ontraport. So you have to get to know one system instead of however many else. The other thing that I think that it's gotten difficult is all of the different social medias that are out there.
Oh,
I think
you're
getting the
speaking my language.
attention, yeah, getting the attention, right, of people. Attention has become very expensive.
Well, because we're all over the place. Oh, threads. And maybe you hate Twitter now and Facebook and TikTok and whatever else. Like, I don't even play all those games, but like, there's so many out there. That's very difficult.
Yeah, I think attention has gotten very expensive. I think it's gotten very hard. And I think that the businesses that are going to win are those that are able to speak to their audience at the right time in a personalized way. I think that's the gamble, right? And so when you have a system like Ontraport, then you have the ability to digitally trace some things, not everything, but quite a bit. Can you tell who is what I call engaged versus not engaged? If someone clicks a link in your email, that's a good chance that they're more interested. Whereas someone that hasn't done anything, they haven't bought a product from you, they haven't clicked a link, they haven't done anything that you can trace, they haven't visited your website. Those people are what I call unengaged. So talk to them less and talk to the people that are engaged with you more. And that ability to do that in a system like Ontraport, that's to me the value, to be able to speak to them at the right time in the right way.
I have a really fun question because we have talked about this before, and I would love to share your opinion on this with my audience. So we have talked in the past about having like 85 bajillion people on your list. But as you were just talking about those that are engaged or not engaged, maybe the engaged people, maybe there's only 1,000 of those 80 bajillion that are actually engaged. And I am of the perspective, y'all don't want my stuff, you get off my list. Like, I am not interested in the people just to have like a big list so I can say, oh, I have 80 billion people on my list. I'm much more interested in having 1,000 that are highly, highly, highly engaged. But I know, because you and I are friends, that some people maybe feel differently about that. What are your thoughts on that?
Ooh. How techie can we get here?
Whatever
Let me
you
keep
want.
this let me keep this high level. When it comes to sending messages via email, the industry changed about a good 2 or 3 years ago. So you've got what you call your ESPs, or the people that are receiving the emails, right? Your Gmails, your Yahoos, your AOLs, all of these different email providers, they have a tough game. Their game is keep the bad spammer stuff out and the good stuff in. Tough job, right? Just go look in your spam box. So Ontraport is in the middle of that. So we have to be very vigilant about, allowing people to send their mail, right? So if you are the person with the 80 bajillion list and you want to send that mail, that customer is so concerned about, I just want to send my mail, I want to send my message, and marketers tell me stay top of mind. So just keep spraying the emails out there, right? Then you got Ontraport in the middle, like, well, wait a minute.
Slow down.
We need to send the good emails to the people that are what we call engaged and not the ones that aren't. So the game has changed, right? The what we call the email delivery game, it has changed. You have something called a domain reputation. Just like you get street cred of who's good, who's not, you also have street cred as far as your domain goes. So the old attitude of what I call stay and spray, just keep sending the emails because someone will eventually pay attention. If you keep doing that, your domain reputation will start to go down. And it's like a grade. And once you get to a C, a D, or an F, guess what? The email service providers start putting your stuff into spam. And what is the point of an email landing in spam if it ain't going to be read? The only thing you get out of that is ego and a feeding of your ego to be like, I sent an email to 80 gajillion people today.
Exactly.
Which really does nothing for you. So
you're also paying for those 80 gajillion people. Like it costs to have a big list like that.
It does. And so I'm kind of in between, right? I'm in between your belief as well as the just send the 80 gajillion. I'm of the belief that you should just be smart, which is send more mail to the people that are engaged with you, the people that are buying your products, the people that want to hear from you, the people that are clicking on links that are visiting your site. Send emails to them. The people that are not serving your business, helping you increase your revenue, send them less, right? Send them less.
Totally. Let's give a real life example because I use Ontraport to do exactly what you are talking about. So I send an email out to the folks on my trading list every day. That's a lot of emails that are going out. Every single day I make a video, I send that out. Well, what I do so that I am not sending it to the whole of those lists, because some of them probably don't care. Some of them have not opened my email in quite a while. So I use Ontraport to segment that list and say, hey, I'm only going to send this to the people who have been active in the last 60 days. So then if they do come back to my site, click on something, great, they're back on that 60-day list. If they fall off of it, fine, I'll send them occasional things that are like, hey, here's something else cool and new. You want to get back on the list, basically is what I'm saying to them. And it's so easy to do that in Ontraport. I love it.
Yeah. And that's the game, right? You're playing the right game and making sure you're just sending stuff to people that want to read it. I mean, the rule is very simple. Send stuff to people who really want to read your stuff. Right. But it is so, and I get it though, right? From a customer standpoint, if you're that business owner, your belief is, I worked my butt off to get those leads. I went to trade shows. I did the advertising, right? And I have culminated that list for the last 2 decades of my life. The hell you're going to tell me that I need to get rid of them? Right? It's natural that you want to be protective of that.
Yeah, but if those people don't care at all about what you're sending them, it's like,
yeah, if they don't want to hear from you,
right?
It's okay.
It is
let it go.
Absolutely okay.
Be like Elsa from Frozen.
Let it go. Yes, do not take it personally is the key. I love that you brought up ego too, because I have met a variety of entrepreneurs that will say things like, oh, I have X number of people on my list. Now, I, in my position, have seen a lot of those lists. And I'm like, really, you don't? Because about this much of them, like a very small amount or very small percentage, are actually opening these things. And the majority of your list is not. So you could do everyone a favor by either putting them on like a separate list of like just mail less, or just get them off your list entirely and delete them. Either way.
Right. And that's the thing, right? Like when you have a system like Ontraport, not only can we see the engagement from who's clicked on a link, for example, but we can also do things like track who's visited your website,
You
right?
want to know what happened
Or
really like recently that I had a great experience with that? I noticed that this was a new person that had recently opted in. And I noticed that they had a really high score. Like they were like hot, in my things. And I'm like, what is this person doing? Because I don't even know who this is. They're not a customer of mine yet. And I ended up opening up their contact record. And what I found is that, oh, Ontraport had sent the initial thing that they had opted in for. But I could see that it was highly likely that they didn't actually get that. Like couldn't see that they had opened that email or clicked on it or anything. But then what I saw is all this activity. They were going back to like lucra.com, seanstevenson.com, and I'm like, oh, this person is probably trying to find the stuff that they just opted in for. And it just likely went in their spam. So what I was able to do is reach out to them directly and just say, hey, it looks like you might have had some trouble receiving this thing. Here it is again, just in case. Well, that alone, I mean, I don't know if this person will ever actually buy anything from me, but I guarantee you that it was a good, goodwill thing to do, to be like, hey, just checking in on you. Like, I noticed some weird activity on your account, just want to make sure you're good. That goes a long way when it's direct. Now, you can't always do that, of course, but Ontraport does give the tools to see when things are different, right? See when things are not normal.
yeah, and that's the thing, right? When you have a system that tracks a lot of different things, you can choose what to react to automatically and what to not. Um, does it seem a little bit stalkerish, right? That you would look in a contact record, it'd be
Maybe.
and go, well, wow, you've been creeping around my site a lot, right? But but that's the choice that you have, and that is the power that you have. Whereas if you have one thing that is sending your emails and your website over here, and this other thing selling the stuff over here, what you miss out on is the data that comes together with that,
Yeah.
right? If someone is a lead and they buy a product, how long did it take them to buy that thing? What is your lifetime value of that customer? There's all sorts of advantages when you have that kind of an all-in-one system, in my opinion.
Yeah, 100% agree with that. Now, I want to get a little bit more personal with you, because you are a very productive, a very, I would say, high energy and very busy, busy person. I have this framework that I ask all of my guests on this show. I'd love to go through it with you just to see how the heck you get all this stuff done, how you manage your own life versus Ontraport, especially because of your position in that company. Like, you're responsible for a lot of stuff. So the acronym is called HERB, HERB. It starts out with the H, that is habits. What are some habits that you have to help you maintain that productivity?
My habits. I would say the first few minutes when you wake up, that for me, that kind of dreary state between dreaming and awake, that for me, that time is really valuable for me.
Oh, I love that.
That's where I have ideas that come from me. That's where I take time to meditate. It's where I get grounded. So that is a really precious time for me. The other habit, uh, coffee. There is I
Oh,
have a
heck
cup
yes.
that says no adulting, how coffee first, then adulting. And So I get up and I have my morning cup of coffee. For the day, I choose two mission criticals, right? What are the two things that I have to get done that day that are the most important? Towards the end of the day, I ask myself, have I done enough? Have
Mm.
I done enough? And hopefully those two mission criticals are done. And the answer to myself is yes.
Do you find though that oftentimes the answer might not be yes? Because I mean, I know you and you work hard and you work a lot.
One of them usually is,
Okay, that's good.
right?
Yeah.
Because and it's important for me to like carve out that time in the beginning of my day before interruptions. I do tend to start my day before my work day, right?
Yeah.
Because there is that little precious time in the morning before I am interrupted, before the priorities of my day might change due to whatever is coming at me. So that half an hour, sometimes an hour and a half, where I get that one mission critical done, that's clutch. And yes, sometimes I do get to the end of the day and I didn't get those mission criticals, but I'm still able to answer to myself, yes, I did enough.
Oh, I would say that's maybe even more important.
Um, Other habits, nighttime, right? Going to sleep is another coveted time, that waking up and going to sleep. It's where I get to tell my brain, Rochelle, you've done enough. Your day is done. And I get to tell myself, tomorrow you'll wake up rejuvenated and ready.
Is that how you actually talk to yourself, or is it a little more gangsta? Like,
You know,
we're gonna get into the
my
real deal here
gangster
because
stuff only comes out in daytime.
okay,
She's
fair enough. I'm
she
like, I know
she's
you
not
in
a
real life, so
gangster. Yeah, she's not as gangster at night. She's pretty peaceful. Because she doesn't say like you're gonna wake up rejuvenated tomorrow. It's usually just a more calm, tomorrow you're gonna wake up rejuvenated and
just
ready.
checking.
It's interesting that the voices, yes. Thanks, Mindy. My many voices in my head.
Listen, I could just show anybody that's listening to this our text conversations and they would understand the level of gangsta. So,
You, you can move me from LA, but you can't take the LA out the girl, that's for sure.
all right, let's move on to the E. The E is environment. How do you set up your environment? And that might be your home, your space at the office at Ontraport, might be your car, whatever, like your spaces. How do you set them up for your best work, your best productivity, your most focus, etc.?
My environment's pretty flexible. I can make myself comfortable almost anywhere.
That is
I do
amazing. I
need,
wish I had that skill.
yeah,
I
I
do.
do
I
need
don't.
quiet, right? Like I need a quiet space to think. And whether that means just earphones in my head with some noise cancellation, that's fine. But I can make myself comfortable pretty much anywhere. And sometimes it's music, but that music has to be instrumental, because if it's something I can sing to or that has words, then my attention goes to the music.
I'm the same.
Christmas time is horrible in the grocery
Because
stores,
then they're all in your head.
because I'm the person that will go into the grocery store during Christmas and follow along my way through the aisles, and then I walk out and I go,
And you're still
what did
singing the
I go
song.
in there for? Yeah, it's I like singing, so that's Christmas time is the worst. That's distractions galore. But
Yes.
yeah, just a quiet space, right? For me, it's a quiet space to feel productive in. Doesn't really matter where it is for me. It could be at a coffee shop. It could be anywhere, as long as I have just my own solace around me. It's easy for me to kind of focus in.
Amazing. Like I said, I mean, the only way I can sort of get around that is like you said, with, earphones, noise cancellation, et cetera, et cetera. But even still, if the coffee shop is active and noisy, I'm like, this is not going to work for me. So let's talk about the R. The R stands for resources. What resources in your life have contributed to everything from your own well-being, your own, self-achievement, your productivity, all of that stuff. Resources could be books, programs, whatever comes to mind.
Gosh, that's a good question. I would say resources wise, the first thing that comes to mind is people. I'm so lucky, Mindy, to have the circle of people that I have, people like you, um, people that I work with that are smart, resourceful, caring, and even just the people that I've been able to teach, right? And when I was teaching certification or the people that I meet at our conferences, those are some really incredible people that have given me so much in my life. Other resources, I am a fiend for knowledge, mind candy, any way I can get it. And that means YouTube, books, Audible, and yeah, I'm hungry for that.
Is there
And
a
most of
particular
my
topic, like a topic that you are most fiendish about?
most of mine has recently been on leadership,
Oh,
right? So
nice. Yeah.
looking towards um how to up level my game in insofar as leadership. And I recently read Effortless Experience by Matt Dixon. So that is directly related to client experience. And the idea that when you come in and you talk to a support team like ours, are you looking for a remarkable experience? And I don't think most of our customers are looking to be wowed. They're looking to get their question answered
Right. Or their
and have
problem
it
solved.
answered and have their problem solved so they can move on with their day.
Yeah.
Right. Um, so that was the most recent one that I have. But anything that is leadership and client experience focused, that's my jam right now. The other stuff I love to focus on are things like how does our mind work, right?
Yes.
The mind candy stuff. How does our mind work? How can I hate the word hack, but like how can I hack it? And how do I get better at whatever it is I'm doing, focusing on?
Nice. Yeah. Love that stuff. So the B in herb stands for beliefs. And the question really is about like, what is your worldview? What is, the way in which you see the world that essentially creates your world? Because the only thing I would disagree with what you just said is I don't think it's necessarily luck. I don't think you're lucky. I think you have cultivated and, you attract by who you are all those other people. So that's my only tweak on that one, in my opinion. But what beliefs do you hold, or ways in which you see the world that have essentially created that luck that you referred to?
Hmm. I care hard.
See,
I
that's what I'm
care
talking
hard.
about. This is not luck.
Um, I think for me, what I've gotten about who I am is that compassion is intrinsic to me. It's how I live every moment of my life. It's in my subconscious. I think that's what carries me through in everything that I do in life. Doesn't matter if it's life, work, sports, whatever it is. Even if sounds weird, but like even if I'm writing a process at work, I'm writing that with this undertone of compassion because I know that someone else is going to have to do that thing. And if I care about the way that I write that, then it's going to help someone else. If I'm leading a team, I'm listening to someone. It's not about the result for me. It's about whether I cared enough and in a way that feels whole to me. So that fuels me. Um, the other thing is I've been told I'm non-judgmental. And that belief, although it was told to me, is something I kind of carry with me. And so that gives me the belief about the world that I think most people in this world have good intentions, right? And the other belief I have is I have a lot of stamina, more than most. It's kind of weird, right? I can work long, hard for days, weeks on end.
And you do?
Um, and it's just something that just kind of pulses through me. That only extends to work though, because if you ask me to like run a couple miles, it's not that kind of
You don't have
stamina.
the
It
endurance?
just it stops. That's not it. I am what you call a fast twitch muscle girl. You know, you want me to do something hard and fast for a few seconds, I'm good, but you want me to do that for a long time, that
Not
ain't
so much.
me. But when it comes to stamina, as far as work, focus, um, getting things done, that's my jam.
That is awesome. One more question about your personal beliefs or your understanding about all of this surrounding us. What does wealth mean to you? I love asking every guest this because there's always such distinct, unique answers.
Uh, I don't know if mine will be unique, but I think wealth and that definition and what it means to me has changed over time.
Ooh, let's talk about it.
I think when I was a kid, it used to mean the money, the physical luxuries. I have my mom saved, you know how your parents save certain things from when you're young. So I guess there was some third grade project that was like make your dream book. And
This is
so
awesome.
I'm a horrible artist, first of all. So, but there was a plane, right? So what I said was I would buy a house for myself, another for my parents, and a house for all my friends and family. I would buy a private jet
Oh, hey,
so I could fly my friends and family to cool vacation places, and I would be a professional philanthropist.
nice.
So that I think was my definition as, as a kid,
Right.
right? Was wealth was money and physical luxuries. Today, it leans more towards time,
Love
right?
that.
So I have the abundance of time to do the things in life that make me feel wealthy. The time with loved ones, time for me to feel fulfilled, time for the things I choose to spend my time on.
Yeah. Like what are some of those things? What makes you
For
feel wealthy?
me, spending time with my parents, I am not getting younger, nor are my parents. So spending time with them, spending time with my coworkers, especially my team. Anytime I can do something with my team that forwards our success, whether it's on a personal level, right? Just taking a walk with them and checking in,
Or buying them ice cream? I know
or
you have
buying
done
them
that.
ice cream. Actually, I just did that yesterday. That's funny you mentioned that.
Did you get
I
it from
did.
Handles?
I did not.
Oh, just
I
checking.
had to do the Instacart, like, you know, we did buy some It's bars. We bought some ice cream sandwiches, some popsicles, but
Nice.
yeah, it was team meeting time and I was like, it's a nice warm day. Let's just eat some ice cream and meet. Yeah. Um, Sugar doesn't make me feel wealthy, but it sure as heck tastes good.
Did you say sugar?
Yeah. Yeah. You know that about me.
I do know that about you.
My
Oh my
That's my
gosh, that
vice.
that is awesome. Um, well, thank you for all of that. A little peek inside your world. I have a final question for you, and that is this. Because of your heart, because you lead from the heart, and you have kind of a almost like bird's eye view of all these different people that are doing different things and have different ideas in the world, and they're like, how do I do this, online? How do I get this like into the software or whatever? What advice, or maybe you could think of it as inspiration, might you have for this audience that is made up of a lot of aspiring and early stage entrepreneurs? And I'll just leave it at that. What advice or inspiration would you have for them?
I'm not sure it's inspirational, but maybe lessons, because I've been blessed with the opportunity to see businesses succeed and fail. I will say, and because I've been with Ontraport and been able to see our company both succeed and fail. I will say, if you're an entrepreneur, you're going to fail a lot. You're going to throw 50 ideas on the wall. One might stick, and then you're going to try some more. The trick is figure out what's not working and what is working so you can try another 50, right? And not just on gut feel, but gut feel and the data that you've got. The other advice is know your strengths and your weaknesses. And for those areas that you're weak in, get others to help you out, right? If you're not into tech and that's a headache, find someone you trust to help you with that stuff. Learn enough about the thing so you have enough wherewithal so you're not, scammed or whatever. But from my view, you've got two levers. You have time or you have money, right? You need to choose whether you want to learn to do the thing and spend the time to do it, or you're going to pay someone else to help you to do that thing. And by using your strengths and knowing your weaknesses, you're going to be much better off. I see a lot of people come in at Ontraport. They hate tech and they're grumpy about it. I get it. And they keep trying to jam the square peg in the round hole. And if you don't like tech, then just learn enough about it so that you know what it is and what you need to get done, and have someone help you with it, right?
Totally.
Because what takes someone 5 minutes instead of your 5 hours and headaches and mashing your head against the wall? That's no fun. So, for example, I have learned, I'll tell you one of my weaknesses. My weakness is I have no idea what time it is or day it is. Anything when it comes to scheduling, I am awful. That is a straight up weakness. I am notoriously known amongst my team for setting an appointment on my calendar. I have a one-on-one with every one of my team members. I am notorious for setting up a one-on-one and not inviting the person.
Oh,
I just make an appointment with me, myself, and I. And then I go up to him, I'm like,
like, where you at?
Jane, we have a one-on-one. And Jane's like, we do?
Were you going to
And
tell
the
me
first
about
thing I
this?
do is I'm like, hold on, right?
Let me
So
check my
that's
calendar.
my weakness. And the way that I have let myself out of that is I tell every single person that I manage, I suck at scheduling. So here's what I need you to do for me and keep me accountable. If you do not see a calendar appointment on during the week by this day, please message me, right? That's my weakness. So I have other people help me to do better. Yeah, know your strengths and weaknesses and know that you're going to fail, and that's totally okay. But
It's really part
figure
of the
out,
whole thing.
yeah, like figure out what's working, what's not just on gut, but use your data so that you can try other things. Fail fast and regenerate hard and stick with it. Business is not easy, and there's going to always be 20 things that are vying for your attention. So make sure you just focus on what's that next thing that I think is going to help me move my business forward.
Yeah, for sure. If any of you think that Ontraport might be that next thing to help you move your business forward, I have links for you. If you're watching this on YouTube, the link is in the comments down below. If you are listening to this podcast, it's in the show notes at lucra.com.
I would say, start a free trial, poke around, but also take advantage of talking to our sales development team because we are a pretty big app, right? We do a lot of stuff. So talk to our team so that you can tell them what you want to do, and then they can tell you how Ontraport fits in with that. Also, down low, like our sales team, they are totally non-commissioned. And the reason for that is because we want to make sure that Ontraport is a good fit for you. If you're not a good fit, our team will openly say, hey, this isn't a good fit. Here's some other recommendations. Okay. The email delivery world is crazy, right? It's not that crazy, but there are kind of some simple rules that you live by. But that's a great opportunity for you to understand how email delivery works so that you can maximize your domain and do all of the right things so that you're doing those things right from the get-go. There's a huge education component to that. And if the more you know, the better you are, G.I. Joe, or whatever you want to say there. So
I thought you were
yeah.
going to say the more you know, the more you can grow. But G.I. Joe is pretty
Okay.
awesome.
Yeah. You could grow too and be a G.I. Joe or whatever you want to be.
Oh my gosh. Again, links are below if you're watching this on YouTube or at lucra.com in the show notes for this episode. Rochelle, this has been awesome. It's always a great time to hang out with you. And I loved this conversation because while we got to know a little bit more about Ontraport and the behind the scenes over there, we also got a little peek into your experience and your life. So thank you so much for being here.
It's been an honor, Mindy. Super fun.